also comment that I use the terms gay and lesbian with no offense to the LGBTQA++ community. It's just a shorthand. There were 8 gay bars in Sausalito. The people listed here are all famous or noteworthy people in the history of gay Sausalito. And there were some venues, places that, for want of a better term, were kind of community centers. If they found you in a house with another man, even just kissing, you would be arrested and put in jail. So that was the early 40s, and what happened was, at the end of the war, the military was discharging 1.2 million soldiers every month for about 14 months. So if you imagine, that's upwards of 2 million people discharged. A slice of that, 2 million people were gay. They still had to be ultra careful, but it was a bit of a refuge, a little bit safer of an environment. So in the 1940s, the secret life of gay people, this building, which many of you may know, at the corner of Princess and Bridgeway, across from the Barrel House, this was as close in the 1940s as you could come to a community center for gay people. It's a 6-unit apartment building, is still to this day a 6-unit apartment building. At the time, for some reason, a few of the apartments were rented by gay people, and they discovered each other, and slowly over time, they started to realize that they could create a community here, and many, many gay people, but mostly gay men, found their way to this community. And it was one of the most interesting and famous personages of the community in Sausalito, opened this bar called the Tin Angel. And it was predominantly a lesbian bar, but a lot of gay men sort of flocked there as well. You can see the little arch and this cornice line. That was brought and put onto the second floor of the rear building, Stanford, and she decided to open another Tin Angel in San Francisco on the Embarcadero. And it was the building that had been Sally's original brothel. You would push the button, the lights in the bar would come up automatically, the buzz would buzz inside, and everybody straightened up. And because a lot of these bars were gay and lesbian, and also to some extent they were mixed. There were a lot of straight people that did also patronize the bars. Because it was a mix of men and women, what they would do was separate from their man or their woman and reconnect with the woman or the man. These were a collection of really seriously ragtag mess boats that were just kind of all collected in one place. A picture of some funky hippie folks hanging out inside their boat. It was, every gay man when I was a kid had that hidden in their closet. It was underwear and bikinis and all of these hot guys wearing skimpy clothes. And he was the first guy to think of this as a marketing ploy. And so this was the Sausalito Inn at that time. That's how it was known. Still, as you know, a hotel. And the bar is, what was the bar is now the Chamber of Commerce. But it was the place to be. If you were gay, straight, green, purple, it didn't matter. Everybody wanted to be at the Sausalito Inn. And there was a guy named Fred who played the piano, and people would go and sing show tunes at the Sausalito Inn. It was lying fallow in the harbor, and Juanita, who was quite the character, decided to open a restaurant in there, and it was a late night after hours place that served breakfast. And her order ticket said, house rules, pour your own damn coffee. I added the damn, but she was known to have said that. Pour your own coffee, write your own order. Be sure to put your name on the order so we can find you. Our food is guaranteed, but not the disposition of the cook. These women including Billie Jean King, Martina Navratilova, a couple of others. There were 9 of them, and they became fed up with the fact that the women's tennis tour, or the women on the tennis tour, which was both men and women, the women were winning purses that were 1/12 of the value of the men's purses. And they just would not accept that. They wouldn't stand for it. And so they decided they were gonna split off from the tennis tour and start the women's tennis tour. But of course, in order to do that, you need sponsorship. And they managed to come across, and there's a real cognitive dissonance in this one because they're sports people, but they got Virginia Slims, which you may remember marketed almost exclusively to women. That event that created the tagline, "You've come a long way, baby."